Hey everyone, what is going on? My name's Article Live, and in today's video we're going to be discussing where the updates are for Payday 2 on the Nintendo Switch. I apologise it's taken me this long to get this video made. I have been talking about making this video for quite a while and I've kept putting it back for one reason or another. But finally now there's an update on PS4 and Xbox One and I've covered that. I can now move over to you guys on the Switch and talk a bit more about why you guys haven't had an update. Unfortunately, there isn't much of any official confirmation that's saying an update is coming out on this date or we're working on this to come out. We don't actually know what's being done for the Switch, when it's coming out, if anything's coming out. I presume we are having DLC support. We're working on the assumption here that Switch is going to be getting future updates because that's what Starbreeze have said in the past. They plan to support Payday 2 on the Switch with future content updates going forward. With that being said, I did go looking around online for any more information I could find, any other forums that weren't Steam, any other news articles, trying to find anything at all possible that would give us any information regarding the Switch version of Payday 2, because as I've said, there isn't a great deal of information and I want to try and find everything possible and get every shred of information I could possibly find to try and tell you guys where the Switch updates are and what is missing and what will be coming over and all that good stuff. So trying to find out what basically the next step is for Switch players for Payday 2. Now with that being said, I did go have a look around and try and find some information, and I found a few news articles that were put out just around the time that Payday 2 was released on the Switch. I think it was just a couple of days before it launched, and it relates to the fact that it was missing some DLC that PS4 and Xbox One did have. So it was basically the disparity between, you know, releasing a new version of Payday 2 and it not being up to date with the other console versions, and the fact that, you know, fans understandably weren't too happy about that idea. So we're going to be looking at that article. It is from Polygon. That's the one I've picked out because they're all very similar, but Polygon's I feel was the best structured. But because it is an online article, please do bear in mind there could be some shreds of bias there. Could be anything along those lines. So basically what I'm saying is what I read out here, take with a pinch of salt. I don't really see there's anything possible they could twist about Payday 2 on the Switch. I don't see why Polygon would do that. It doesn't really seem like something you'd want to twist for any game. But I just thought I'd say it either way so people, you know, at least have a heads up and can bear in mind that it might not be 100% accurate. But we're going to work off the assumption that it is. Now, as I've already said, there is very little information out there regarding the Switch version, and I've said as a result I've had to look up news articles to get a bit more information and give us a bit more of a standpoint. But you might be wondering, has Goris said anything about the Nintendo Switch, or has anyone from the Overkill team said anything? Well, I have done a great deal of digging on the Steam forums. I've looked and I've looked and I've tried to find any information that I could possibly find regarding the Switch version. I've looked through all of Goris's post history, going back to when the Switch was released and before it. I've looked around on forums to try and find any official confirmation, but unfortunately there's literally nothing saying this update is coming here, this update is coming there, we're getting this hotfix there, this heist here, this character pack there. There's no details whatsoever, and that's why as a result I'm having to resort to news articles to get the information that we need. So let's get started by discussing what updates are actually missing from the Nintendo Switch version of Payday 2 and then comparing it to the other platforms that are still getting support from Overkill. Now, it's all well and good to say I want to compare it to the PC version and say that the PC version has this, but the Switch doesn't. The PC version has this heist, this character, this weapon pack, and the Switch version doesn't. But as far as I'm concerned, the Nintendo Switch is a console, and that's the best fitting description for it, and as such, we should compare it to the other console versions of Payday 2 that are still getting support, and by deduction, that's the PS4 and Xbox One version. So, what we're going to talk about here comes in two parts. It's the stuff that was released before the Nintendo Switch version came out, and then any other DLCs and patches for consoles that came out after the Switch version was released. And we'll split this all up and talk about it, but let's start off by looking at the Polygon article and talking a little bit more about it. Now, this Polygon article was released just a few days before Payday 2 came out on the Switch, as I said earlier, and it's titled, Starbreeze confirms Switch is getting an older version of Payday 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to go a bit more in depth into this article, look at the key points it's saying about the Nintendo Switch, and see what information we can ascertain as to what DLC is missing and give us a bit more of an idea about what is to come. So let's start off by giving it a bit of a read and see what the article is saying before I open it up to you guys to leave your opinions down in the comments section below. The article starts off by saying, the Payday 2 community on Reddit is in an uproar over confusion about which version of the game is coming to the Nintendo Switch later this month. The game's publisher has just confirmed to Polygon that at least some of their fears are founded. The article then goes on to quote a post that was featured as aforementioned on the Payday 2 Reddit community, and we're going to read it out now. It says, somebody who got the game early streamed it, and the footage has a lot of information. The end of high screen lacks the speed up feature, which means it's below version 124. Well, here's the strange thing, at 1 hour and 13 minutes he steps outside and the billboards use the new texture which was added in version 131. So the graphics have been updated but the game itself has not. But at 1 hour and 16 minutes he's blinded by a flashbang and there is no flashbang present, which means there's no flashbang update, which was again 124. There is no possible way the game is above version 124, and then the post was then titled, "Please do not buy Payday 2 for the Switch, it's a severely outdated version, please do not support the developers." This led to some back and forth about which version of the game might be coming to the Nintendo Switch, and then the article says that there is a post on the Nintendo Switch subreddit titled Payday 2 Switch Real Fact, in which it is claimed that Payday 2 on the Switch is at update 147. This post claims that they are wrong and that the proof they provided says nowhere that the Switch is on update 147 and instead clearly states that the Switch is on the most wanted update, which is version 117. They are flat out lying and making up information. I've contacted the mods and no action was taken, and I have received no response. Now, as a result, Polygon then reached out to contact Starbreeze, and Starbreeze did come back and give some more information in order to try and clarify the situation. Starbreeze said, Payday 2 is releasing on Switch with content up to and including the Most Wanted update, which is equivalent to the content released through mid-2017 on PC. PS4 and Xbox One have received one additional update after that, the Master Plan update, which was released near the end of 2017. So the Switch is only one update behind other consoles, which are slightly behind PC. Now, obviously, this information is a little bit out of date by this point, because we did have our patch in February, which gave us the LMG buff, the Field of View slider, the Swan Song nerf, some bug fixes and tweaks, and then we've also had our most recent update last week, which added a few new heists, the Duke character pack, and a little bit more here and there. So that information is slightly inaccurate, but regardless, it was accurate at the time, so we're just going to go on and carry on as if it was still accurate at that time. Starbreeze then justified the amount of content that was present on the Switch by saying, "We're making continuous updates to a game that is turning 5 years old this year, and to get the game out in early 2018 on Switch meant that our team had to go with the content ported and available at the time of console submission. The PS4 and Xbox One versions are now almost up to par with PC content, and Switch is close behind those versions. There are future content updates planned for Switch as well." That obviously does confirm that there is going to be future updates for the Nintendo Switch. I'm not quite sure I agree with the fact that PS4 and Xbox One are almost up to par with PC. In terms of actual heists and DLC, yeah, fair enough, we're like 5 heists behind, 2 characters and a bunch of weapon packs. There's a bit to catch up on, and then on top of that, we've also got the Safe House, we've got Crime Spree, we've got Team AI, we've got Continental Coins, safes and skins that were supposedly in the works. So, granted, we're not as far behind as we have been in the past, but there's still a bit to go, so I'm not too sure I agree with that quote, but that's not the point of this article or the point of this video. They have said right at the end there are future content updates planned for Switch. So to summarize everything that we know, Payday 2 is released on the Nintendo Switch in February 2018, with all the DLC up to and including the Most Wanted update, and then additionally the Joy character pack, which still is an exclusive on Switch. It is a timed exclusive, I can't stress that enough, people still don't think it is. It is a timed exclusive, it will eventually be out on PC and Xbox One and PS4, we just don't know when it's happening for any of those platforms, presumably PC first, but again, no predictions can be made until we know what's going on. But there was no Master Plan update in the Switch port for Payday 2, and as a result now the update that we've just had for consoles on PS4 and Xbox One is also missing. So to summarize this in terms of what actual DLCs the game is missing rather than free updates, the Switch does not have the Gage Spec Ops pack, the Gage Russian weapon pack, the John Wick weapon pack or the John Wick heists, or the Scarface character pack or the Scarface heist. And additionally, the Switch does not have Sangres either because he was not featured in the Most Wanted update. Again, if there are any details here that I'm getting wrong, please correct me in the comments, but I'm going off the information that I know because I do not own a Nintendo Switch, so I can't check these things up myself. So the Switch is missing 6 paid DLCs, and on top of that, Cursed Kill Room, Safe House Nightmare, Alaskan Deal, Duke, and a couple of other weapons and masks and things that were added with Xbox One and PS4's update last week. So that's a lot of content to catch up on, and on top of that, there are still things that we need to get to catch up to PC on Xbox One and PS4, and as a result, the Switch needs that stuff as well. Now, let's talk a bit more about when I think the next update will drop and what I think will be in it. Now, for me, I don't see the Switch getting everything that we have now on Xbox One and PS4 in one go. I still feel like the Master Plan DLC is going to be released on its own. So as far as I'm concerned, I feel like the Switch will next see the Master Plan DLC as the big update that it's going to get soon. If they do release the new update that came out on Xbox One and PS4 alongside it, I'd be pleasantly surprised. It's not impossible, just I have to be optimistic here and, you know, think realistically, as well as, you know, trying not to be too hopeful so that I don't encourage people and say this will probably happen, because I've been wrong before. It's very difficult to make accurate predictions, so I just have to go with the most sensible thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't see the newest update coming to Switch just yet. It's going to be the Master Plan. In terms of time frame, though, it's a really, really difficult thing to say. Normally, when Goris posts something in a Steam thread and says, we're working on this update, this thing isn't coming anytime soon, this thing is coming soon, be ready for it, I can at least make some kind of guess, like it'll be here in the next month or two, it'll be here in 6 months, it'll be here in 12 months, God forbid it is 12 months, but I actually don't know with the Switch, so I don't want to make a release date prediction, really, that is going to be completely inaccurate. So what I'm going to say is it's going to be in the next few months that we'll hopefully get some news. But I honestly can't say more than that because purely I don't know what else to say. And as for the things that PS4 and Xbox One are still missing, don't expect those to come to the Switch anytime soon. I can't see the Safe House or Crime Spree or Team AI being added without it at least getting some information regarding when it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One first. I just don't see it happening. The Switch was released behind the Xbox One and PS4. It wasn't even up to date with the consoles at the time it was launched, whereas the Crime Wave edition of Payday 2 pretty much was up to date with PC. It came out in summer 2015 and it had the bomb heist from January 2015. So, you know, when the Crime Wave edition was released, it was closer to the actual game than Payday 2 on the Switch is to the current console version. So, it is a bit of a mess. It's not ideal, it's not great, but we just basically got to get along with it and just see what we can guess and see what we can figure out and then make some assumptions. The second I know any more news regarding the Switch, I won't hesitate to make a video on it because literally I'm sitting waiting for more news regarding it, and at the minute I just don't know what the situation is. So hopefully in the next couple of months we'll get some more news, some more updates, and I will let you guys know when I know that. But other than that, unfortunately, that is all I have to talk about today. I've covered a bit of what I think might come in the next update and just a rough idea of what the situation is, but I apologise that I haven't been able to give more information because I literally just don't have it. So, those of you on the Switch, I understand this isn't, you know, the greatest thing to say to you guys because you are expecting news. The game has been out on the Switch now for over 4 months, and there's been very little talk at all about updates. So, hopefully we don't get a situation like Xbox One and PS4 had where it was over 400 days until we got a DLC. I'm not saying it'll take the Switch that long to get an update. I seriously doubt it will take that long for the Switch to get an update. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any more details on exact timings and release dates. So hopefully it's going to be the Master Plan update at the very least, and it'll be out in the next few months. And as soon as there's information, I'll share it. But until then, my hands are tied. I haven't got anything else to discuss. So unfortunately, that's going to round off this video. I understand it isn't the best information you guys would be looking for, but a number of you have asked for a Switch video, and at last, I finally got it out. So hopefully you guys can appreciate the information that I've put across. So if you have enjoyed the video or at least found it informative, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. I'll leave a link in the description to the Polygon article if you want to go and read it in your own time. Other than that, thank you all for watching. Please share the video around if you know any other Switch heisters who might find it informative. Other than that, thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you are new. And guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Take it easy.